So today is Sunday, and I am skipping the family's Sunday night gathering at my grandma's house. Mainly because I didn't do this yet. I took the dogs on a short walk earlier, and we got poured on. We only went like a quarter of a mile, but then it rained pretty hard as we were walking back to the car, and Ziva had snagged her toenail, I think, when she was getting into the car, because we got all out of order today, and she got in before Gidge, and then Gidge started getting in before Ziva was all the way in, and a toenail was broken, and there was blood all over my seat. There's still blood on my seat, to be honest. I'm gonna have to work on that, I guess. In the meantime, I think she's kind of trying to work on it. She's gonna drive me nuts with this licking the seat thing, though. Ziva! Thank you. Yeah. So, I started to do a video earlier. Got about, of course, 5 minutes and 43 seconds in. And then she wouldn't stop licking the seat, but everybody was wet because we got rained on. And then, you know, they were licking themselves, and then the seats were all wet, so they were licking the seats, and it's like, I cannot hear this the entire time I'm doing this. It's not gonna work out. So yeah, we had somewhere to go. Gracie had a dance recital today. Ziva. My little spooky-eyed number back there. Yeah. Hey, you want to come in the picture? No? Your eyes are glowing. Yeah, so Gracie had a dance recital at 1 o'clock today. And so we were trying to do a video around 11:30, planning on leaving around a quarter after 12. And then with all the licking and everything, it's like, there's too much confusion and I cannot do this right now. So I turned it off and deleted it. And yeah. Oh, now I got this spooky-eyed number that likes to lick my hair randomly. That's not one of my favorite things he does. That or my shirt. Or pants. I hate all of that. But I love that he loves me. Tries to take care of me. It's a big job. Yeah, so we went to the dance recital, and it was fine, but I don't love the Nutcracker. I would like it better if it wasn't every single year the same thing, but I swear it was like, it just kind of droned on and on and on for like, I don't know what, like a half hour or something before we got to the rest of the stuff. It's like, oh man. I just don't love it. Yeah, there's full moon tonight, so if I pay attention and remember to do the thing, I have all these little stones and my bracelets and my necklaces that all need to go outside and chill on the back porch overnight. Get their cleansing. Yeah. So yesterday I talked about going to that Army versus Navy watch party, and I did, and it was fine. And I was really excited when I first got there because it was like, ooh, I'm always where I'm supposed to be, you know. Okay, I walked in, and it was kind of weird because obviously I didn't know anybody since I went by myself, and except for the one guy that invited me, and I was trying to figure out where he was and not seeing him, and also, I mean, I was looking kind of awkward anyways. So I was just kind of standing around trying to figure out where I was supposed to be, but like right as I got my phone out to see about sending him a message, he turned around and saw me, and it's like, oh, he's right there. Okay. We're good. So yeah, so that was good. But the first group of people that he introduced me to was this Lutheran singles group that he's connected to. It's like, well, I mean, I don't love singles groups. I mean, I get the purpose behind the group in theory. I think everybody tends to go into those kind of things with just finding somebody at the forefront of their mind rather than just taking the opportunity to get to know some people as friends, right? And so I've never really gotten too involved with anything like that. He's talked to me about it before, back when he was attached to the church, but apparently there's been some falling out there as well. And the way he was talking about it, he said there was a falling out and he felt betrayed, and then he hasn't been back to church since. It's like, I feel that. I completely get that. I told him, it's like, I haven't been to church since I got divorced. It's like, actually, since before then, since I left Alabama, because I did go to church the Sunday before I left, because I took my former stepson to church to try to get him connected to some kids in the area. Ziva, please stop. Ziva. She's just gonna lick another spot, so that's not cool. Hey, please stop. So yeah, but like okay, the Sunday before I left, I took him to church, and then we went to donate a bunch of clothes at one of those, I think, I don't even know what organization it was affiliated with, but one of those like random drop boxes they have. Did that, dumped a bunch of recycling off, and then happened to drive by a blood bus, and it's like, hell, I'm looking to delay going home at all possible costs. So I took, they didn't have anybody else there at that time, so my stepson was allowed to go in there and hang out with me while that was happening, which, I mean, I wouldn't have done it otherwise because he was like 11. Or no, it was before he turned 11. Ziva, please stop. Tazzy, please stop. Taz. Oh, man. Oh, the licking incessantly drives me nuts. Thank you. She's gonna try to take a nap. They spent a lot of time in their crates today because they have proven themselves to be untrustworthy. Most recently with getting into the bag of candy that was like Snickers and Twix and Kit Kats and Reese's or whatever, whatever hodgepodge collection there was. I had the bag of candy on the counter, and then, hey, then my mom moved it to the table and forgot to move it back, so they helped themselves. But my dad was there when they helped themselves, so, they couldn't be in the box at that point, of course. But today, since we were gone so long, because we were gone from like 1 to 6, they got to spend the time in the crate. They were not happy, but it keeps them out of the stuff they're not supposed to be in anyway. Both Ziva and Taz in the past 2 days have pooped out candy wrappers, so yeah, there we are. Anyway, yeah, like, we went to church on Sunday that week, and then Friday I left, and that was the last time I ever went to church. So that was like, okay, I left on March 14th, 2019, whatever the Friday was. I'm pretty sure, not 1,000%, but I feel like we left on the 14th and got back to Indy on the 15th. Because it was a long overnight drive. With these 3 yahoos, my parents, and a bunch of birds and reptiles. So now, down to these 3 yahoos and 2 birds. So, yeah. That's okay. Gracie tried to talk me into buying another bird the other day. It's like, dude, no. That's not gonna happen. So, yeah. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, but that was the last time I went to church. So, me and the chaplain kind of bonded over being jaded toward the church, I guess. I don't really feel like, I don't know how to go into that one. I don't think it's jaded with the church per se. I appreciate what it did for me for a good span of time, and at this point I am grateful for the opportunities it has given me to learn about things differently than the situation I was taught. Yeah, because I definitely disagree with a whole lot of that kind of stuff, which the chaplain was like, oh, we're both jaded on the church kind of a thing, but he said I don't remember how he worded it. Something about still likes the teachings or something. It's like, well, I mean, we kind of differ on some ideas on that end, I guess. 11:11, as I said. Yeah. Oh, but we talked about getting together again, catching up because it's been a while. Of course, obviously, since he had a bunch of church drama going on, he said that's kept him pretty busy over the past couple years anyway, and hadn't reached out before because of that. He's funny because I talked about how I always felt like an imposter for the whole military thing, because he was talking to me about joining the VFW or whatever, and there's all sorts of benefits through it and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I said, honestly, I burned all my paperwork recently. I said, with the exception of like my certificates from basic training in AIT and my honorable discharge. It's like, other than that, I pretty much burned everything else because I felt like such an imposter, and it just didn't even seem like something that really happened. Or my reasoning for being there was so much different than everybody else's that I knew of. So it was like, it just was weird. But he was all like, he's like, I'll sponsor you and all this stuff. It's like, well, I mean, you're like the only one that is involved with these things that really could, because you're the only one I really worked with that's anywhere local. And yeah, but he had me sign or fill out this little form. He's like, even if you don't join, at least, I mean, we'll have your information to be able to send you some stuff. It's like, I don't know that this is a good idea, but I filled it out anyway, so that's, probably not favorable, but yeah. Messed myself up, of course. Letters and things you don't necessarily want. Goody. Okay. Hey. Yeah. But anyway, when I first got there, he introduced me to the Lutheran singles group, and there's like 5 people there, 4 that were part of the group, and then one of them brought their kid. I mean, it was a 20-year-old daughter. Hey, quit that. And one of them came over. It was this woman that was in the Marines. He introduced her and the other lady's daughter to me, and they said they were on their way to the bathroom. It's like, hey, I gotta go, so I'm just gonna follow them real quick to figure out where it's at, right? So I did that and was talking to the Marine while in the bathroom, and she seemed freaking awesome. She actually played roller derby for Circle City for 6 years, and then she said her hip went bad on her and she wasn't able to play anymore after that, so she had to retire. And yeah, but we kind of bonded over that. She's asking me about my military time, because of course that's something that people ask about when you're at a obviously a military connected group setting. So I just told her, it's like, well, yeah, I agree. Ziva sighed, so I also sighed. It's like as I said, my military experience was really nothing. I said I went to basic and AIT and had my drill weekends, and then broke my brain and ended up getting out before I did anything worthwhile. So it's like, yeah, but she was all excited when we were talking, and she says, she throws out, "Do you like women?" It's like, it caught me off guard. And mind you, my social skills are not fabulous. So like this whole thing where I'm basically talking to myself in my camera with my dogs present, I mean, we can totally do this, but actually being in a group setting with actual humans, I don't know how to act. But she caught me off guard when she threw that out there. I was like, no, well, yeah, but no. It's like, I am straight, but it's like the whole thing with all of that was just hey, quit licking. It's a slow moving van, probably trying to figure out what I'm doing over here. Ziva, knock it off. So yeah, it's like she caught me off guard, and I was just kind of like tripping over the words. It's like, well, I am straight, so yeah, but it's like, I think, yes, she was associated with the singles group. I get that, and of course, it's a natural question to come up if that's what she's looking for. But it's like, I think she would have been an awesome human to hang out with and be friends with. But then it's like this other thing comes up. It's like, bleh, what? And honestly, I have no interest in dating at all at this point in time. I mean, of course, I've mentioned the whole twin flame thing, and I'm pretty locked in on that. And as I am learning to trust myself more and follow what I feel I'm being led to with these things. Ziva. Please stop. Thank you. Please stop. Yeah. But it's like, I think that's like the big thing with the singles group. It's like, if it was just hanging out with other single people to get to know each other as friends, but it feels like that's never the main focus for, the reasoning of getting together. But it's like, you never know who you're going to bond with, like really click with, and then you don't know how, what people you'll introduce each other to, so it's always, I think a lot of people tend to, hey, knock it off. That's going to drive me nuts. And I'm driving her nuts too. So yeah, and I forgot the water bowl, so yeah. But it's like, it never feels like it's just meet friends and gain new acquaintances for further bonding, because you don't know who somebody's friends with that's going to connect you to somebody else, or whatever. And when it just came up like that, it's just like, well, what? And I was kind of thinking about that deal when my grandpa was at the rehab hospital on the south side, and we went out. My grandma, my mom, my aunt, and I went out to a late lunch at a restaurant afterwards on the way home. And I got winked at by the waitress. And, it's one of those things, it's like, I feel like the universe is showing me that my energy has changed substantially and that other people are picking up on it and receptive to that point. But then it's like, and I've talked about before, like, I feel like, I mean, obviously, hey, God, it's gonna drive me nuts, Sibby. You ever in the video? Hey. Yeah. Yeah, she'll slump. But obviously it's like, well, I guess not so obviously, but like for me, the encounters that I've had with men in the past few years, it's like men are still relatively unsafe, energetically speaking. Not because all men are bad or anything by any means, but it's just, I was like, I had a bunch of bad habits as far as, codependent tendencies and all that stuff. And it's like, I think, okay, like those situations come up with women because, women, it's a safer energy for me because I'm not looking to get in any kind of connection with anyone right now, because I believe in this other thing. And so I'm just kind of trying to navigate the waters of myself, and learning what I do want in connections in general and friendships and all that fun stuff. But, like, okay, mostly everything was like completely cool last night. Not like there's no big thing one way or another. I would have loved to talk to that chick more, even after I disappointed her with that point. I mean, we bonded over roller derby and everything real quick. So it was like this little 3-minute span of time that we connected, and then she ended up leaving shortly after that. And it's like, well, that sucks. But I think we could have been friends, so that sucked real bad on that end. But I don't know. It makes me realize how socially awkward I am still. That's another thing. And I feel like that's the big thing that the universe is trying to help me navigate through, is that, yeah, I'm still awkward. That's okay. But at least through like the experiences with other people, it helps me to think, okay, how can I respond to that question better in the future and, not miss out on a potentially really good friend or something, but also being completely open on the fact that, not interested like that. I totally get those that choose that path for the ones that choose that path. I know not all do, but I definitely understand those that would, because, because like there was one creepy dude, and, I'm being introduced to multiple people, and yeah, hi. Did you need a window? He walks by, and it's one of those looks, it's just really creepy. Almost, I don't even know how to explain it. And I know I'm hearing sirens, so now I'm distracted by that. But it was the same sleazy look that like the bullies would give before. It's like that little bit of sketchy energy to come along the way to see how I respond to that, I think was the bigger point of it. And I just ignored that one. And then I, interestingly, never saw the dude again after that. But he was like, he walked by with this really sleazy kind of look on his face as he was looking at me, and it's just like, whatever. And I blew it off. And then I didn't see him anymore. But it's like, the universe still is going to show me those people along the way to see how I respond in those situations as well. So it's like, how can I... That's interesting. Just noticed they left the gate open on this football field, and that's very uncommon. But yeah, like how I respond to those that have kind of a creepy energy, and like figuring out how I would prefer to respond to people that I think would be awesome friends, but not... I just am not interested in the dating stuff, really. Because I feel like, okay, to get together with somebody and, like, hang out, go get food, or go to a movie or something, it would be awesome to have somebody to want to do those things with. But I don't want it to be like the dating kind of scenario, because like I have this other thing that I feel very strongly about, and maybe that's part of it, is learning to be open with that as well. But then at the same time, it's like, what if that is necessary to... I don't know. I know, okay, the whole twin flame topic is kind of sketchy for anybody that's watched bullshit on Netflix. He's watching a car. But I know it's this thing that's a legit thing for me, and I know why I believe in it, and that it is a real thing for me, and like it's literally changed my entire life in the past 4 years, well, 5 years maybe, but especially in the past little over a year that I committed my, love and career lives over to the universe. And then everything just started coming together, and it's really weird, right? Oh, which takes me to 19s. 19s talk about the connectedness of things, right? And so this is something that's on my mind as I was at this thing. Well, as I was going to this thing, because there's a truck driving slow. It's probably a cop. And then my dogs are making weird noises. But yeah, like, okay. The post number was 1919. 19s are the connectedness of things. So, that was one of the first things I noticed when I pulled in. Plus, there was, like, one of the, that's not a police truck, by the way. One of the phone numbers on the sign started with 888, so it's like, okay, it's like I'm supposed to be here, and then when I went to leave, I put in the address for the metaphysical shop that I wanted to go to, and it was 19 minutes away. There was 19 on my trip mileage thing, and what was the other one? Oh, when I got home, my dad had left 19 seconds on the microwave. I just saw 29. Well, no, I saw it wrong. I saw 29:16, but I thought it was the 9 when I first looked over. But yeah, it's like 19s are the connectedness of things. So I've been seeing that a lot, and then I was like in this one neighborhood cutting through to another route, and I saw my 2222 between the odometer and the trip mileage. But okay, the 19s were the point, and it's like they started coming out a lot in a short span of time. And then, of course, 4s are still a big one. Hey, quit licking, please. She's just giving me a dirty look. She's like, stop talking to me. I feel like this is a lot more erratic than I was anticipating when I planned on doing a video today. There was 19 that time. Went to Cracker Barrel earlier, and I was so aggravated. I loved this loaded hash brown casserole thing they had like for the whole meal, and now they just have the sides of it again. It's like, that is so freaking lame. I wanted that, and then it wasn't there anymore. So that sucked. But I had a Dr. Pepper, so that's probably part of my brain not working as well as it would have had I done it earlier. I mean, that's debatable. Not that the Dr. Pepper does it. It makes my brain sketchy, but that it might have been more coherent earlier. I don't know. But of course, I heard like the Twin Flame name come up several times last night. Again, it's like always something with that. Oh, and I saw a hawk today. Since those are so big. Hey. But yeah, it's like when I think about, I guess it makes sense to be open with people about why I'm not really interested in the whole dating scene, why I don't join singles groups and all that stuff. It's like, because I'm really not interested in the dating aspect of it that I feel like most people tend to focus on when they think of something like that. I ended up getting a picture with them, even though I barely talked to any of them while I was there. And of course I talked to the chaplain and was like, or when I was talking to him, it's like, well, I'm obviously a bit of a wallflower, so... And he's like, that's the thing I've noticed with single groups. It's like everybody, they go for this opportunity to meet people, and then everybody's an introvert and nobody wants to talk or do anything. It's like, well, if I find somebody I click with, it would be another story. Like the one girl, I think we would be awesome friends. But, if she's not interested in just finding friends, then, I don't know. See, but that also posed another thing, because she left, and my immediate response or feeling around the situation was feeling bad. In case I was at all the reason she left. And it's like, why would I be the reason that she left? Just because, it's somebody new that was introduced to this group, but then is also straight, so they're... I don't know. But, it's like, it still brought up the initial feelings of, was it something that I did that made somebody feel bad and, they left because of that or whatever. And it's like, I know that it's completely irrational. Or even if it's not, that's not something for me to take on as mine, because, that's not my thing. If that's what somebody else has to work through in that situation, then there's another reason for it to come up for them. But it's not on me to try to take on other people's stuff, or for me to perceive things a certain way just to make myself feel bad. Hey. You gonna stick your head in my water cup? You're going to have to get up there. Yes, I'm letting my dog drink out of my water. No, I will not be drinking out of it with her, but since she won't stop licking. But yeah, there was another thing that I was just having to think through, was this moment of feeling somehow guilty or responsible for somebody leaving. when it's like that literally nothing about that situation is on me to have to feel bad about. So what's the purpose of that? And I think that just goes back to taking on other people's stuff. Oops. Made Taz go bug-eyed. Everybody just wants mom's water. Now I gotta wash my cup. Yeah. This is that whole socially awkward thing too. You know, I gotta I feel like the times to socialize with new people is to help me kind of navigate through that as well, because ideally I will be able to socialize with people and not have it be this thing where I take on a bunch of shit that's not mine. But yet that was how I grew up and how I've lived my life so far, so I gotta work through this whole thing, right? Because that's not helpful. Here, just kidding, you just need some. Yep, everybody's sticking their head in the cup. Nope, nope. Yep, yeah! Thanks for that. Huh. Yeah. You know, I was on like that meetup app for a little while trying to meet people that way, and it's like, yep, I don't think this is for me either. It's like, it's not that I'm not interested in meeting people. That's definitely not the case. But I don't know how. I guess that's the big thing. Girl I played roller derby with, well, she was mainly on photography stuff. She posted a thing about why am I so awkward, and then talked about meeting some of the parents at one of her kids' sports activities, and she said the other mom said something about two kids were so close in age that, you know, they get comments a lot about how they look like twins. And then she said, oh yeah, mine do too, or something to that effect. But none of her kids are even the same race, because she adopted two of them, and then they had one. And she's like, why am I so awkward? She said, just a reminder of what my family looks like. And she posted a picture of it. It's like, I feel like that would be the perfect opportunity to say, yeah, sorry, I'm not good with meeting people or something, you know, owning that fact and kind of going for there. Then you can at least laugh it off. But if you just leave it like really awkward, then everybody's awkward about it, right? Dude, your eyes are glowing. What do you think about that? These little gappy teeth. We don't gotta talk. It's okay. Were you not done? You want the cup back? Yeah. But yeah, like that's something that's kind of hard too, is owning the awkwardness. But I mean, I feel like I feel like my awkwardness isn't a problem with owning. I don't know. Dude, oh, now lick it. Oh, don't lick it off the seat. Then I have to listen to that. He was pawing at the cup. That didn't help. Did you need more? You aren't we so charming? Yeah, was that better? I don't know. I think we definitely need to, just people in general should probably embrace their awkward more. I feel like, like the awkward bathroom conversation. I don't know. I would like to meet people better than that. I'm like my part of that better than that. But is what it is, I guess. Hi. What should we talk about? She don't care. She just wants attention. I don't like my bracelets. They're not meant for your spine. This is the thing we do now. Hi. I will drive down the road and this dog will be pawing at my arm trying to get me to pet her while I'm driving, and I don't know what is going on, but like this is a new thing we do now, and now she's licking my hand. But yeah. That's big. The other day there's a song on the radio. It was Beartooth's Attention. And it was right as she was doing this, it's like, I feel like this is your song. Yeah. Are you done yet? They're probably wondering the same thing. I'm wondering the same thing to be honest. Like I guess I had better hopes for the video today, being a little more coherent, but there's been a lot of day today. It was raining when we woke up, so we delayed our walk a tiny bit. I mean, not really. I guess that wasn't what delayed us. It was just me delaying us on moving slow. But then we go and walk and get rained on, and then started to do a video, but had a little bit of a time crunch because we had other shit going on, and then gave up on that one because they were licking like they're doing now. Zibbly D, stop it. Give me the side eye. Yeah. And then then the dance recital, which, like I said, if it wasn't for the Nutcracker being so damn long, it's like that just droned on and on. It's like, why is it still going? We've been here like 25 minutes and we're still in the first song. That's not cool. Glad Gracie loves what she's doing though. And she didn't have a huge thing for the Nutcracker part of it, but yeah, she was just a little bit. She was one of the party goers, I think. Hey. Please stop. Thank you. But yeah, then it's like quality bonding time with the parents in that time frame as well. And we went out to dinner. You know, my parents were kind of snarky with each other. We got in the car and my dad couldn't find his phone. It's like, oh, we're doing this again, but with the other parent. But then, you know, okay, so he's looking for it. We get out onto the road and end up having to loop back and go back into, you know, the front way. So like we went out this back road and then ended up coming back on the front road. And it's like just to pull into a spot, and my dad gets out of the car and finds it's in his back pocket. He's like, I never put it in my back pocket. It's like, well, apparently you do now, so keep that in mind. Yeah. It's like, that's the only pocket my phone fits in, so mine's always in my back pocket. And if I'm walking dogs or skating, it's better to have it there anyway, because it's a little safer, because it's more pocket. Yeah. I mean, unless I have leggings on and... Damn, dog. Tess farting on the video again. Although I don't know how much you can actually hear any of that stuff, because I've commented on some of these things and then I don't hear them later. But yeah, if you do, sorry. We're all tacky. Yeah. But yeah, then I was disappointed about the lack of hash brown casserole. That was all I wanted. As soon as we decided that's where we were going for dinner, it's like, yes, hash brown casserole. And it's like, no, it's not on the menu anymore. What the fuck? It's bullshit. My mom was talking about every time they go in there, it seems like they're paring down the menu even further, and not in good ways. It's like, yeah. I mean, that is kind of shit, to be honest. That was all I wanted. and everywhere. And it's foggy as hell, and I don't know what's going on with that. Got a meeting tomorrow, Gracie, a little quarterly meeting for the respite stuff. Be a lot to talk about this time around since we got the death in the family and all that fun stuff. And then Tuesday or Wednesday this week, I need to make it a point of going to get my screen fixed. Or I let that claim expire and put in a new one and just have request that they come to the house and do it in the driveway. I didn't go that option because I figured that wasn't that far away and we were out that way for a little bit anyway, so it's like, it's no big deal, right? 2 to 3 hours without my phone. It's like, man, if I wanted to do a video in that time frame, that would be aggravating. I have to see what's going on, like with my brother and sister-in-law and picking up the kid. Although, as long as we communicate, there's always the option to have the parents do it, to pick her up. Which is fine, but yeah. Just a matter that one day with the communication, and then a couple days after that getting bitched at by my dad. It's like, stupid shit. Yeah. I guess I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't really have anything exciting to talk about. This has been way less interesting than I thought or than I hoped for. I went over to the other elementary that I'm usually skating at, or that I usually hang out at if I'm going to do a video in the parking lot. And there was a cop in the parking lot over by the road. Off the road, but by the road. And of course, watching, And then, of course, I go in that way, and there's a road that connects the north-south road and the east-west road. And I was thinking about finding a spot in the parking lot and, doing a video over there. If I would have gone in the first entrance, I would have gone where I did the funeral video or post-funeral video the other day. But I did not. And so he turned around and followed me for a little bit, trying to figure out what I'm doing over there. And then he stopped following me, but, was facing the direction I was going so he could see where I went. It's like, yeah, this is exciting town here. You're watching me. I mean, at least he saw that I had dogs in the car, because when he shined his lights in our direction, Gidget was grabbing my arm again. So definitely dogs present, if you hadn't seen that. Yeah. But we got family, friends that I'm house sitting for, so I think I'm going to go pop over to their house and check in on everything before we go back home, and then watch a video and probably go to bed before too long, to be honest. Like, I'm not really tired right now. Probably right for a little while. But it'll catch up. It's just one of those tedious type days, and like nothing major happened. It's just kind of, if the Nutcracker hadn't been so damn long. Damn it. I wish I would have been next year. I need to pay attention to that better and figure out what time that particular piece starts and how long it goes, because it's like, I don't need that much in my life. That is a whole lot of the Nutcracker, and I don't love it. I appreciate that there are people that like the dance stuff enough to do that kind of stuff, but Nutcracker specifically, yeah. But like the rest of the songs and everything, like, of course they have the the typical Let It Go for the little, like, 3 to 4 year old group. And they're standing up there. There were 2 little girls that were like staring at their peers who were all kind of dancing a little bit, and they didn't move. They just were staring at people. And it's like, oh, kind of awkward, but cute, and that age group, there's always some of those. But that was just funny, because it was like the second one, in on the left and then like the end on the right. They were both just standing there, you know, completely still, watching Piers and kind of looking at the audience a little bit. The thing I don't get is they had the lights all the way on, so they might have been able to move a little bit had they not seen how many people were in the crowd. And of course, once the Nutcrackers started, then, you know, the lights dimmed and all that stuff, and then they were out the rest of the time. But yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah. Anyway, for real this time, I'm gonna wrap it up, go do other things, go wash my cup and get a new one. Well, probably both. And as always, I appreciate you. Until the next time, see ya.